From the world of contemporary art to philanthropy to unapologetic self-expression, we have with us a guest today who wears multiple hats. In fact, she's just stepped into a new chapter of being an author of the book, The Art of Being Fabulous. Thank you and welcome to the show, Ms. Shalini Passi. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you, Nikita, for the fabulous introduction. Lovely to be here.
And we are so lucky to have you with us today. Ms. Shalini Passi, my first question to you is, again, you've worn many hats as an artist, as an art collector. You also support budding artists. You are a social worker. Which is that one personality you relate to the most? And what personality can we visualize in the book?
I think for me, being an artist is the most important thing. I always wanted to be an artist, but I couldn't study art in college. And then I just lived my life as an artist. For me, when you define, when you try to put people in different roles, or I think that doesn't really work for me. For me, I think it's just an extension. It's a very simple extension that if I love art, I used to paint, so I started collecting art. It was a very natural transition. Then when I saw the need to support artists, contemporary artists in India, I did that. I started an art foundation. For me, it's like, how you flow. So it's just a natural extension of things for me. It's not really like a role, and you can't really put it in boxes.
Absolutely. Very well put. After, again, for audiences, after they saw you on reality shows like Fabulous Lives and Big Boss, they felt that they actually knew you. When was the right time you thought, okay, now's the time they need to know me as an author, and now I'm going to express myself through this art? When was that time? When was the right time for you to decide on that?
I think when somebody is in the public eye, the first advice that they are given is maintain the mystery. And that's exactly what everybody told me, that maintain the mystery and don't give interviews, be mysterious in everything. But honestly, I felt that the number of people who reached out it was not just interest, it was they were reaching out for help, they were reaching out for advice. So there's a difference. If somebody's just interested in what you do, who you are, just for...
Superficially or...
Not just superficially, but like just interested or inquisitive is different than somebody who's reaching out or getting inspired.
Genuinely.
So I felt, it's all in my head, but I felt that they were inspired and they wanted to know more. And they saw something which we all tried to conceal, and they still saw it. And so that was the idea, that and there was so much interest from journalists like yourself who I couldn't say no to. And I also enjoyed it. I enjoyed speaking. It gave me, when I speak, when I write, when I paint, it's also introspective. It's also looking into myself. There's sometimes I say things and I say, what, if this is what I'm doing, maybe this is not correct, because there's nobody regulating me. So for me, it's also becomes like a reflection. What I'm speaking, what I'm writing, how my audience is receiving it,
Right. And I'm sure they'll receive it beautifully, the way they've received your other forms of expression. Also, tell us more about the title, please, Ms. Pasi. Would love to know more about the story behind all those words.
Yeah. So the title Fabulous was actually given by the Dramatics team as well as the Netflix team. It is the title Fabulous Lives versus Bollywood Wives. So me being fabulous. So I took fabulous and art. Art has always been the most important thing in my life. And being. Being means human being, or being means just being, existing. So I took these two words and then try to play around it, and this title came out.
Right. And you live by this mantra every day of your life, would you say that? Or some days you also have your low times and, you also just want your space?
So I don't have the luxury of having low times. Just even I don't know when I felt like that. Also, I just feel so privileged that I am born in India and I'm born in Delhi. And when I look around, when I read the news, I just feel that I have so much. I have so many opportunities. I have so much work. There's so much that I need to do, not just opportunity wise, but even if you open your door and walk out of your house, or even if you open, there's so much that one can do.
Yeah.
Like my mother used to always tell my sister and my cousins, she used to always say, I've never heard Shalini say I'm bored.
Right.
I don't
Right.
think I've ever said I am bored, I don't know what to do.
Right.
It's like, for me, it's like I know what to do, but now I've learned how to prioritize what I do finally.
Yeah.
You know, earlier I used to do the small things which are not important, and then I would do the bigger things and I would be exhausted by the end. But now over the years, what I've learned is to do what is more impactful, what is more meaningful to me.
Yeah.
And then like prioritizing. But I don't think I've ever said that, you know, like I'm bored, or you know, I need a.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's-
And when
that's
I
pretty
do,
inspiring.
I
Yeah.
pray. I pray a lot. Like I mean, I'm grateful. I pray a lot, and I able to take out time when I'm walking, when I'm on a flight, when I'm,
Right.
you know, when I'm walking, when I'm getting dressed, when I'm getting ready, when I'm, you know, so I'm always praying. So I think that also just gives you. Also, there's a
Yeah.
natural high, because
Right.
I don't take tea, coffee. I take maybe a sip of coffee when I'm shooting, for long hours. I don't take any tea, coffee, sugar. So there's a natural high.
Right.
So you don't feel.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And you know, you've spoken about being fabulous from within and the 10 rules for a beautiful life. Please tell us more about that.
So, well, I think this is a very personal book.
Yeah.
It talks about anecdotes from my childhood to present. There are a lot of fun incidences. There are a lot of anecdotes which will make you cry, which will make you laugh, and which will make you think. And just like the readers, and I want to empower them by this book. I want them to think about their lives. I want them to think about anecdotes in their life, and you know, incidences from their life that they can derive from. So I want to empower them in a way where they can derive, where they can derive inspiration from their own journey.
And I think that's why audiences also relate to you very easily, right? From someone from belonging to the younger generation to the older generation. It's very easy for people to relate to your story and to your experiences of growing and becoming who you are today. Also, Ms. Pasi, I just want to ask, as a writer, you attempted writing this book for the first time. You attempted being a writer. How difficult was it to balance between creativity and courage while writing this book, and also being vulnerable at the same time? You have to be elegant. Was that hard as a writer?
So this is actually the incidents in the book as well. So when I was very young, I used to swim, and I was in the school team, and I was very young then, maybe class 5th or 6th, and the diving team. So we were asked to join the diving team, and so the seniors would dive from the highest, which was I think 10 meters, and the juniors from the 1 meter. And so one day the teacher called me up and she pushed me down, and I was just really young.
Wow.
And then I came out and I said, why did you do that? He said, because we did not want you to wait for another 3 months when you could actually start practicing from there. So I've learned to throw myself into things and then learn.
Just dive into them.
So I've learned to dive into things, learn to dive into things, because the thing is that when you jump into the water, and the baby jumps into the water, a kid, he learns to swim. Otherwise, the fear of water will remain. So for me, I've learned to jump into things. Fear is something which I feel scared of not doing things. I feel scared that my life will pass by without being effective or reaching my goals, without doing enough for whatever I've been provided, for whatever I have. If I'm able to, that is the fear I have. I'm not afraid to be judged. I'm not afraid to do things. I'm not afraid to fail. I'm not afraid to be successful. I'm not afraid to do things. I'm not afraid to put in the hard work. You will never hear me saying, I'm afraid I'll have to put in that much of hard work. And so for me, when I started writing the book, I kept it confidential. I said, I will put in the work, and if it's good, we will put it out. If it's great, we will put it out. So I was not afraid to do the hard work, not knowing what will come out, because my strong point is visual. I'm a visual person.
Right. And I think, from whatever I've gathered so far, please correct me if I'm wrong, I think the only thing you're probably afraid of is not trying. And I think, that's the mantra you've probably followed through your growing up years.
I don't want to
now.
be like, when I used to sometimes read, sometimes, talk to other, like hear sometimes older people talk that, I could have done this, I had this opportunity, I was offered this, but I didn't do it. And, sometimes you read also, and then, and this reason, I don't want to be that person who says I was offered and I didn't do it. I want to be the person who says I tried, but I was not good enough,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Be honest.
That again is a different story.
I definitely tried it. I don't want to have it at the back of my head ki, I could have done. I want to say I did it, but I was great, or I wasn't great,
Absolutely. And, did writing this book, Ms. Pasi, did it feel like storytelling? Did it feel therapeutic? Did it, feel like teaching? What were the feelings that you went through?
It was a reflection on myself as well, my own journey. It made me cry. It made me laugh, and certain portions I actually picked up the phone and I wrote an email to Penguin saying, can we delete these portions? I think these are a bit too much. But they said, no, it's already gone and we can't do anything. So it was also self-discovery, and it's also self-discovery. Also, it's like sometimes we have these thoughts in our mind that are just keep going on, and when you put it down, the mind is also at rest.
Right. Absolutely. And you've been an artist. You wanted to study art, like you mentioned, but you've always supported art in your own way. You've created platforms for young budding artists, and that's wonderful. Do you think, again, supporting art and being an art collector, patron yourself, that has helped you visualize the book better in different chapters? And can we see that artistic way of writing in the book as well?
Yeah, so definitely being an artist, I see everything with an eye of an artist, right? Even when I do photography, the way I, photograph, the way I frame the pictures like an artist, it's not really like even a photographer. So I think the whole journey, I think people will have to tell, because this is the first time I'm doing. So I don't know how, visually, I think, yes, when they read it, they will be able to get those images in their heads. Of course, I did work on the cover with the creative team of Penguin. And,
it looks wonderfully colorful.
Yeah, I thought they'll give me a nice black and white photograph, and they sort of came up with similar concepts, and then, we sort of made it fun, and we made it.
Yeah.
So I think there are a lot of anecdotes from my childhood about art and how that has shaped my life, about family, about the city as well. So
lovely. And Ms. Pasi, your home is described as a living museum. You've collected artifacts from different parts of the globe, of different parts of the country, and you're very proud of your collection. That's wonderful. Do we see different aspects or phases of your personality or phases of your life in the artwork collection in your house?
So, actually, the thing is, I, not intentionally, but maybe just, how there's certain kind of works visually and in meaning that I'm attracted to. I also collect a lot of design from all over the world. So for me, I think when you see the entire collection on its own, you can tell that everything is like a jigsaw puzzle, right? So it fits in like that. Each of these pieces has been, I got for my collection in different times, but it's actually it's what makes me. So it's exactly, you can pinpoint that this is what I will be attracted to. So
got it. And
so it's curated in a way, and it's curated in a way because also the thing is there's certain kind of things that we are attracted to, right? Certain things that speak to us.
Absolutely. And, you've seen India's art landscape also grow. What do you currently think of India's, contemporary art and how these creative expressions are coming to life by so many other young artists?
Yeah, so when growing up, I used to study art in school. my sir, my teacher in school, Bishamba Khanna, he was friendly with B.C. Sanyal and Manjeet Bawa. And how they approached art and how artists approach art is so different, and their techniques, they are, an artist also does photography, videography, installation. And I think, and it's more, they're talking, even then they spoke about their time, but now the artists are even more talking about their times.
Right.
And I think, like in literature, people write about, and an author writes about his times, and an artist also paints about his time. So I think that I see also, like, I think more and more women artists are being appreciated, and they are among the top now, which is great. In the 1980s, 70s, it was not as much. They were a handful. But now, like, I see women getting top shows in top museums around the world, which is wonderful. Curators who are women. So I think that shift has happened, but still we have a long way to go.
Wonderful, wonderful. Coming back to your book, I have to ask you, what is that first feedback you probably got from, your son or your husband or anybody else in the family? Something that they did not know about you till date, and probably they read that about you in the book. Were there certain instances?
I have just last night signed a copy and sent to my parents.
Oh, lovely.
Because we just got them.
Yeah.
My son still has to read it. My husband still has to read it.
Okay. So do you think there's surprises for them as well in the book?
I think maybe I think some incidences from my childhood might not. My husband and my son might not know. Some incidences from my present, my mom might not know. So I guess this.
We'll watch and wait. And I bet there are tons of surprises for us also as readers.
Yeah, surprise or shock, that I don't know.
In a good way, shock in a good way. Also, Ms. Pasi, you've always said that giving back to the society, it's not an obligation. Again, that should come from within. That's also a fabulous way of being. How do you hope that this book, The Art of Being Fabulous, also inspires people to be more empathetic, be more sensitive, and give back to the society in any possible way?
I think what happens is that, we are in such a rush to do things for ourselves that we forget that, unless the community is not doing well, we cannot do well. Unless our nation is not doing well, we can't do well. Also, like, giving also empowers you in some way, that it gives you a sense of doing things that are larger than yourselves, because we tend to just focus on our lives, and having a higher purpose is really important. After a certain age, you feel that you've seen it all, you've done many things, you've traveled, and unless you have a higher purpose, all of this doesn't make a difference. Right. So I think for me, having a higher purpose in life is really important. Like, why would I do a certain thing? Why do I want to have a larger audiences? Because ultimately I want to use my voice for other things, right?
Right.
Otherwise, one can just, have go for lunches, go for dinners, go for vacations, or just, watch television.
Take it easy.
Take it easy. Because otherwise, if you feel that, your life is more meaningful because you are able to do much more, not just for yourself and for your family, but for others. So I think that mindset, I think when people taste that, then they know. And I want people to be able to understand that, when you live for a higher purpose, it gives you that much strength. People come around you to make things happen, and great things happen in your own life, in your own journey, if you're helping others. So
wonderfully put. And I have to ask you, Ms. Shalini Passi, we all know that you've had a fabulous life. You are fabulous, and you get that strength and that sort of vibe and personality every day in your life. I want to ask you, anyone around you who's inspired you, who you think are fabulous in their own right, in their own field, any role model that you've been following for years?
I think I've always admired Mr. Ratan Tata, and he's been such an inspiration to me and my family. And I think in every sphere he's done so much for the in term with Tatas. He's done so much, and he was a great philanthropist. There's MF Hussain, who is one of India's most incredible artist, and he was such a free spirit, and he could paint on any subject. And then we have Mr. Shah Rukh Khan, who's so passionate about his profession. He's a great reader, and he knows so much about so many things, and yet he's so down to earth. And there's Mother Teresa, who's dedicated her entire life. So these 4 people, I think, have really inspired me. Of course, there are many more, because you need inspiration every day. You need inspiration from the birds, from the flowers, from somebody like you who is so dedicated. So I think inspiration is everywhere. You just need to see it. And for me, I think these 4 people have really made a difference in my life.
Wonderful. And it's great to see where you get your insights and your inspiration from. Also, Miss Pasi, I have to ask you, and I know you'll be very honest, knowing how you are. What was more fun, shooting the reality shows or writing the book? Also, how different were these 2 experiences for you as an artist yourself?
So, like they say, you can't enjoy the sweet unless you know the salt.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same. If you're always eating sweet, then it's not going to be fun. Yeah. So I think for me, what is fun is that doing different things, right? And that's what's fun, like being peaceful and writing this when inside there's a turmoil, shooting when outside there's a turmoil. Right. So for me, it's you have to be, I enjoy contrast. That's something which I really like. I like that contrast of color. I like that contrast of thoughts. I like that contrast of, different things. Yeah. And that's what stimulates me. So for me, I equally enjoyed both. I was not sure if I'll enjoy the process of sitting on my own and writing the book. I was pleasantly surprised.
That's wonderful.
I was pleasantly surprised.
How nice. That's I bet, do we have any more books in store from you? Any more instances of life?
That the audience have to say if they enjoy this book, if it's useful for them, if it changes their life, if it inspires them. And then maybe, yes, a part 2, The Art of Being Fabulous. That's why the title itself is just 10 rules. Right. So it's an ongoing thing. Like life is an ongoing thing, and the lessons, sometimes things in the past are the lessons that we learn in the future. So
wonderful. And Ms. Pasi, coming to the end of the interview, just one message for all your fans out there. Again, like I said, you've had fans from anyone who's in their 20s to anyone who's in their 60s. So a wide span, a wide spectrum of your fandom. Any last message that you would like to give them before they read the book? And again,
one more quote. Don't dress to impress, dress to express. Right. And then, of course, be fabulous, because it's all like you all are fabulous. God created us to be this being, and it's how we lead our lives. And I think inner strength and outer strength that's what makes you fabulous.
Lovely. Thank you so much. Can't wait to read this fabulous book.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely wonderful.
Thank you, Nikita.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.